support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. As Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. The National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives, they are calling for a full-scale review of security protocols at the U.S. Capitol. Noble is questioning how the Capitol Police could have been so ill-prepared for Wednesday's insurrection. Joining us now is Lynda Williams. She is the president of the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives. Glad to have you back on the show, President Williams. When you witnessed what took place on Wednesday, surely the law enforcement inside of you had to be yelling at the TV going, what the hell are y'all doing, and where are the reinforcements?
Thank you, first of all, Roland, for having me. Good to see you again. It was a tragedy. The U.S. Capitol and all the law enforcement element in Washington, D.C., they are well-versed on security protocol and on all the resources that are needed to implement a safe environment. There was a lack or discredit of intelligence that was not even recognized or that they decided not to act upon, because this is a well-oiled machine. The United States Capitol is a people's place, so they're used to these mass collection of people. So it was a travesty in so many levels, and even as we're trying to go back and look at it again, there will be a time to assess the blame, but now we need to look at it from a different lens of where did we come short and what was the assessment to not prepare accordingly.
What about, I read earlier, I read a comment from Congressman Jim Clyburn, who said that his hidden office was discovered. They didn't touch the office with his name on it. He implied it's an inside job.
You know,
that has to be extremely scary to think that the people who are supposed to be protecting members of Congress could very well have been aiding and abetting those who stormed the Capitol.
And that's why it has to be a thorough after-action report. Just like how we saw that some of those officers were pacifying or placating that mob. As federal employees, we are apolitical, and there's a standard and a professional aptitude that one takes. And so, again, a thorough after-action report. It was a travesty on so many levels that they need to go back and look at it step by step, because it's not a lack of preparation that they didn't know how to do it, didn't know what to do. We know every 4 years there's an inauguration, and it's a well-oiled machine with law enforcement from all over the nation to converge in for a safe environment. So again, we have to go back right now, not to assess blame, but again, go back and walk backwards to see where that lapse in decision making was made.
I'm hearing, first of all, the interim police chief is Yogananda Pittman. She was a deputy to Stephen's son. She is now the acting chief of Capitol Police, a sister now. And the thing here, how do you lead an investigation of this type? Some people are saying put Capitol Police under Secret Service. And so how does one go about some people are saying, you got to purge the ranks of people who were aiding and abetting these folks. How do you even do that?
It starts with a collaborative effort, not only from the investigative arm of the Capitol Police, but external investigators to come in to make it unbiased. And so it has to start from day one of what that planning, how they start planning, and who made the ultimate decisions of not to execute, the elements and the resources needed to control such. So it goes way back. They are very well tuned, and they have done this over and over without this occurring. So again, the decision makers, who did that and for what reason, and that's where we need to start, because this is nothing new. It happens all the time. Now, with the intel or whether they were biased in doing that and not to give the same protection and put the resources for a crowd of that nature versus what they did to Black Lives Matter is what we need to look at.
We talked to Congresswoman Maxine Waters, and she had a meeting with the chief, the former chief now. We assured her everything is going to be fine. But what really bothers me is after, like in the midst of this coup d'etat, the Justice Department called and said, hey, we can send FBI agents. They go, nah, we're good. We got this under control. What? I would think in that situation, you say all hands on deck, send me everybody you got.
Well, Roland, the proof is in the pudding. The images bear themselves out. We saw what happened. We saw that there was a mob. They call it insurrection or coup. Domestic terrorism is what it is. And so, again, that they were asleep at the wheel, that they decided, because this has not been done at a Trump rally before. That's not in-depth intel. You still have to prepare and be on the ready. One thing in all my training as a federal agent, you are trained for what you know. You might not get to execute those skill set every day, but this is something that wasn't out of the ordinary, and a plan and a secure security plan was in place. There's a standing MOU throughout Washington, D.C., as we see all the time, and you know that even at the White House, Secret Service guards the White House ground, Park Police handles the sidewalks, and Metropolitan handles the street. So it is ever rotating jurisdictional support as we secure these buildings in Washington, D.C. So it wasn't that the security plan did not exist. The choice was made. Why didn't we execute it accordingly?
Lynda Williams, President of Noble, we certainly appreciate it. Thank you so very much for joining us.
And thank you for having me.
Folks, back to that Roland Martin Unfiltered video.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have, you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it. Please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.